Welcome
a little
to the New
afraid
Author
for a minute.
Podcast, a weekly podcast diary starring Jerry Evanoff and Rich Casey. Join them weekly as they talk about writing, publishing, and marketing their books. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New Author Podcast. Today is April Fool's Day. It's Wednesday, April 1st. I'm trying to get my screen reconfigured while I talk, and I'm having trouble doing both at the same time. There we go. April 1st, 2026. A buddy of mine called me earlier, and he actually listens to this podcast and told me that when I go down to his house for when I go down to Columbus for his house this weekend to go to a couple sporting events, he's going to have a lot of seafood ready for me. And then he said April Fools. Thank God, because I hate seafood.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. It looks good and it smells good. I don't like that fishy taste. It's kind of gross. But
I was gonna say April Fools because we're actually podcasting. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. This is episode number 349, and I'm one of the hosts of this podcast, Jerry Evanoff, and with me, as he is every week, is Rich Casey. Rich, how are you?
I'm okay, but one of my coworkers played a really cruel prank on us today. She left this big box of donuts on the break room table, and then you opened it up and it was filled with veggies. So
that is unforgivable.
That is unforgivable. And there wasn't
even
really
good April Fool's joke, though.
There wasn't even any dip. It was just raw veggies. That was it.
That's actually really creative. I like that. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. So how are you? Anything exciting going on in your life?
No,
we'll talk about it in a little while, I'm sure. But anything else?
No, it's just been crazy. Really crazy. Yeah. A lot of things going on in the evening that I usually don't have happen, mainly because we got the millage vote for the library coming up. So there's been all kinds of, get out the vote meetings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Vote or Die. Remember that from MTV?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Vote or Die, or am I making that up?
No, it was something like that, but that's what we're saying around the branch. Vote or die.
Okay. Yeah, there was a South Park episode where they had what's his name, the rapper that isn't doing real well right now. Puff Daddy did a Vote or Die, and it's a very, very good episode. I suggest everyone go watch it. Yeah. I think it's called. I honestly think the episode is called Douche versus Turd. I think that's what the episode's called. Anyway.
Well, it sounds like South Park. Yeah. So
yeah, it does. So, all right. So let me jump into my stats from last week. I'm going to hold back a couple of them and I'll talk about them as we get into the weekly recap. I have a lot, Rich, to talk about tonight. Holy cow.
All right. Good.
So word count for this year, nothing changes there. 8,691. I haven't written any new words, just a lot of editing. And that means my words per hour stayed the same at 1,275 per hour. My book 1.5, the 8-chapter, 12,000 word novella has become 10 chapters and 15,813 words, but that is revision Y. It is done. I still have one more revision, and that's where I have Word read it back to me. But it is finished at 15,813 words, which is pretty good. It's about 65 pages, so I'll take that all day.
Is that going off the C as well, or?
No, that will not. I hate to say it because I think it sounds bad to say it's a free book. I'm not paying a whole lot for the cover if I pay at all. And I'm not going to pay for a professional editor, but I am going to use Grammarly. I'm going to use the tools I have to try to make it sound good. I'll use Grammarly and try to get that working. So I think it'll be okay though. That's how I've done all of my novellas is I've never sent them off to the editor. I've just done them myself.
Yeah, well, I'm going to speak to that idea a little bit later too.
Okay.
In terms of my stats, I actually made it through 9 chapters of the novel that's yet to be named. So I'm up to chapter 19. Along the way, I dropped a little over 4,500 words. So I'm pruning as I go. But I average 4.5 chapters a week. And I think the goal I had set for when we last talked 2 weeks ago was to have 3 chapters done in a week. So I'm over the goal that I had set. So I'm really happy. I've got another 14 to go though. So we'll see how long it takes me to do that.
Is that all you have left though?
Yeah, I have 14 chapters left. I've done 19 in terms of editing. Yep.
Okay.
I've gotten a little system going here that I'll talk about when we do our weekend review that I think is going to work out pretty well. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. I like a good system. I like a good list that I can just go down through it and just a routine. I like all that. So that's good. The goal that I actually created for myself last week when we didn't podcast it was huge. It was to have book 1.5 done. Have book 2 formatted and ready to release, not done. Have book 1's changes in there and ready to be published. It's probably done, but I have to go check. And then have all the front matter and back matter. It's definitely not done. And then have all the 3 covers for the books. 1.5, I don't have that at all. Book 2, I'm still waiting on that. Book 3, I'm still waiting on that. So most of these goals did not get finished. I created them like 2 days ago, knowing they wouldn't get done, but yeah, I created them anyway, just to have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Stranger. So hopping into my recap here, I'm going to go back daily because, again, I did a lot of stuff every day. So this is Friday 2 weeks ago. I worked from home. I quit at noon, and I ended up at Five Guys. It's one of those, I always joke with my mom and dad when I drop Max off on this day, and they say, where are you going to go? And I just say, wherever the car takes me. And that's generally what happens. Like, I think I was going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and then halfway through the trip, I changed my mind to go to, what do you call it? Chick-fil-A. And then as I'm driving down the road, I could either make a right and go to Chick-fil-A or go straight and go to Five Guys. I just went straight and went to Five Guys. It just happens that way. What was I do? I don't even know what I was doing there. So let's see. I was working on, I was eating. I was definitely eating I love Five Guys burgers. I was working on book 1.5. I was spending a lot of time on, I was in chapter 1 2 weeks ago and I'm done already. Wow. I was working on book 1.5. I spent a lot of time in chapter 1 doing an edit, even though I had already marked it done from when I was working on it a few months ago. So this is basically me starting that edit of book 1.5. I had already edited the first few chapters and the last few chapters, but I just wanted to start from the beginning. It had been a couple months, get it back into my head and do it. So by the time I was done, it was up from 1,072 words to 1,571, much better than it was. Then I began on working on chapter 2, but I had been there for a while. I'd been there probably a couple hours and I was ready to go home. I talked I talked 2 weeks ago about the poor betting I had done on the NCAA tournament. And I'm not going to go through all this in every day because it was a couple weeks ago. But I will say that by the time, so I had $100 in there and I had $50 in free bets. So I had $150 to bet with. And by the end of Thursday, the first day of the tournament, I was down to $59. And then over the next 2 days, I went all the way back up to $179 and I cashed out immediately Saturday night. I was like, okay, I'm done. Nope, I'm done. I'm not losing this. I'm good. I'm up $79. I'm good, which was really nice.
Are you going to save it and do some betting on the draft coming up, or?
No, I think the next time I bet will probably be the Masters.
Oh, okay.
And then I probably won't bet after that until the NFL starts up again. Although I did so I'm in a fantasy golf league with it's the one I won a couple of years ago that had like 400 people in it. I won like $3,200. And now there's like 800 people in it, and I'm in it. And a coworker of mine, I got him in it. We were talking today about who we picked. And he said that ChatGPT told him that he should pick JJ Spawn. And he's like, I'm not really impressed with that. So he picked somebody else. So I did what you should do. I put $20 on JJ Spawn. And I told him, I said, I'm going to celebrate your misery is kind of what I'm going to do here. So I did bet today. I have the tournament that starts tomorrow. Anyway.
What you ought to do is find a place where you can bet on the next time Tiger Woods rolls over a vehicle.
I don't think the odds are...
The problem would be
it's not a good payout
really
anymore.
Short odds.
It's $10 to win 11. I don't think you really want to do that. So,
we shouldn't laugh. The guy's in a bad place. We shouldn't laugh.
Yeah, it's sad too because I freaking love Tiger Woods.
Yeah, it's very sad.
All right, so Saturday I'm up early. I'm off to Chick-fil-A, going back to book 1.5, starting the edit rewrite of chapter 2. So this is something I've been doing now the last couple weeks. I have not started using my writing app because I'm going to use it for book 3. But one thing I am doing is in the middle of writing either this book 1.5 or this book 2, if I come across a description of a character, I take that description, I put it into ChatGPT and say, can you just give me a picture based on this? And it gives me a picture of a person, really good pictures of a person. Okay. And then I take that and I upload it into my Story Bible section of my writing app. And I'm just tickled pink every time I do this, that I can do this.
Oh, I didn't even think about doing that. That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah, because it's not like I'm writing every time I'm editing and I just come across the description I've already written. That's when I go do it. I'm not like I got to create a story Bible for these 6 people. It's just when I come across somebody new, throw it in and see what happens. And it's great. So I was working on that. I did chapters 2 and 3 while I was at Chick-fil-A, editing them, running them through Grammarly. Came home in the afternoon, played my football game, hit the couch around 5:30 and did not get up the rest of the night, which is always fun. I did call the golf course that I play at in the summer on this day, and there was a message saying they were going to open on March, whatever last Saturday was, March
22nd.
We'll go with that. Sure, 20. Wait, was it? No. Yeah,
that's what it says in the notes.
Oh. I didn't read ahead. That's weird. Oh yeah, March 22nd. Now the problem was it was going to be 25 degrees on March 22nd. It's going to be a little bit nicer on the 23rd. So I thought maybe they'd open on the 23rd, but I never called to get a tee time or anything like that. I'm going to wait until probably next weekend when I'm back to really get into it. So, so then that was Saturday. I came home. I watched some I did come and go first. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I did watch some college basketball. I kind of went to bed. I won a couple bets, like I said. I was up to 197 on Saturday night. I made one more bet on Sunday that I lost. So I was at like 170, I think 179 when I cashed out. Sunday, I am up early in the morning. This is where I was creating a fake track for my NASCAR game based on the Ohio Turnpike. I was calling it the ODOT 241 since there's 241 miles from one side to the other of the Turnpike. I put a lot of construction in there because there's always construction. Put a lot of, instead of pit stops, I used rest stops. And I put the toll booths right in the middle where you have to slow down. The reason I did it, I don't know if I mentioned this last time. The reason I did this is I was driving to work a couple days before that, and you come up to that spot where there's like 6 toll booths, like 2 that you pay just by using your card. There's no person there. 2 where there's people and you pay with your ticket, or 2 that are just easy pass that you slow down and roll through. And the goal of, I got to think every single man that comes through, I don't know about women, but every single man is to see how many people you can pass. Going through the toll booths, and I go through the easy pass. So you kind of, okay, there's a truck there, I can get by him. Oh, there's a car that's got to stop. So I thought I'm going to make this into a NASCAR track. So I did. This was in the morning. And then I did a little work on my writing app. And then I did go to, where did I go? Well, I did a whole lot of stuff before I actually went somewhere.
That Turnpike thing could also be like a Fast and Furious game too. I could see.
It'd be great.
Yeah,
you see more accidents in that game.
Yeah.
Well, my game did have a big one where like 20 cars were taken out. It was great.
I may have told you the story before, but when my son was little, he used to have his friend come over, and they were like 7 or 8, and we had the NASCAR game on the computer with the wheel, steering wheel and the pedals and everything. And their whole modus operandi for playing that game was to see how many crashes they could get into.
Well, what I love is how, anytime that I had those games as a kid, the first thing I would do is turn around and go backwards. That's what you got to do. And then Ready Player One, the movie came out. And I remember that for months and months, maybe years and years, the very first thing they have to do is complete this race. Mm-hmm. And the way he did it was turning around and going backwards. And one of the guys from Riff Tracks, because they did that movie, was like, you're telling me that no one in the history of this thing has ever turned around and tried to go backwards? Everybody does that the first time they get into a racing game. It's kind of true. So that's what I always used to do. So before I left, where did I go? I went to Hothead Burrito. So before I left, I did I did a little bit of work on my writing app. I'm working on the story grid section where I'm trying to get it to generate the story grid automatically and then giving you the ability to go in and edit it. So you have like a template to work from, which is what I like about the AI for anything that I do. And I'll talk about that here in a second, where I have this template that I can work with, saving me all the typing that I have to do. Just type it out for me. And now let me edit it. And I like that so much better, especially when I'm coding or when I'm doing anything. Still trying to work out how to do these Perry Mason recaps for Substack. I want to do one of these every 2 weeks. So in the past, where I learned about doing TV recaps is from the TV show Big Brother. Back in the day, I was on a message board and I wrote recaps. I would sit down and it would take me 2.5 hours to write a 1-hour TV show, 45-minute TV show recap, because I would put every detail I could. I would try to be funny. I would be self-deprecating. I would link to I would mention other pop culture stuff that I hoped only a few people would understand the reference, all that stuff. And it was a blast. I can't do that for this Perry Mason show. This has got to be something that I can do quick. I can do it every 2 weeks. And I was talking to the marketing lady, Ellie, from that I met on ReadSeek last week, and she was like, what you do is when you first start, do 2 or 3 of them at once. That way you've got them kind of backed up and ready to go. So that's something I want to look into. So I went to ChatGPT and I just said, listen, here's what I want to do. I do not want this to take very long. I just want a template. And after a bunch of back and forth with messages, came up with a template that I literally fill out as I'm watching the episode. Then after it's over, I just go back and almost like edit it and add more words to it. When you're doing the template, you're just putting a couple bullet points in this, and then, give it a rating, that kind of thing. And then I have a segment that I want to do called the Andy Griffith Guest Star of the Week, because every week in that Perry Mason, there seemed to be somebody who was an Andy Griffith 10 years later that I recognized, because I've watched Andy Griffith 1,000 times. So little things like that. So by the time I was done, I had a template. Now we're 2 weeks later and I haven't actually done it yet, but I do have a template to go by, and that's going to be something I do potentially. God, I don't even know when, because all I do is edit right now. Then I went to Hothead Burrito. And I think I told in the last podcast, I mentioned how bad of shape I was in. Like, this is probably the worst shape I've ever been in my life. Right. So instead of burritos, Rich, I'm getting bowls. And instead of Pepsi, I'm getting Pepsi Zero. So
nice.
It's baby steps, but it's something. So felt good about that. I did work on 2 scenes from chapter 4, getting them both finished. Then I wrote the first scene of chapter 5, and I also created this as a new chapter. So I'm up to 9 chapters at this point. I said earlier there's 10. Well, right now I'm up to 9. Came home and played my NASCAR game with my Ohio Turnpike, my ODOT 241 or whatever I called it. I did lose my only bet, and I cashed out my money, which was good because I was ahead. And then I didn't do anything that evening. I had planned that evening to do the Perry Mason recap, and I just kind of sat there like a slug doing nothing.
You know what? It just occurred to me that something I can do similar to what you're doing with Perry Mason is, I don't know if you've heard about this, but they're rebooting Murder, She Wrote.
Really? I didn't hear about this.
Who's going to play the Angela Lansbury part?
Man, is it someone who's younger or older?
About the same age, probably.
I mean, is it a TV actress or a movie actress?
It's
or
Jamie
both?
Lee Curtis.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I would have went with Kathy Bates, but she's on a different show. But that makes complete sense.
I think that's going to be great. I could recap that for sure.
There you go. Yeah, it's
Because
not hard. I mean,
even at her age, I can still watch Jamie Lee Curtis. So
okay, so that's what it's about for you. Yeah, I got you. I'm with you on that. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so then Monday I did work from home. I went to the library on this day at lunch. Let's see. And it's funny because while I was at the library, I kind of decided I was going to call this novella the library. Like that's going to be the title of it because it takes place in a library. So that's going to be the title of it. I did begin working on the midpoint, which is chapter 5, scene 2, really action packed scene. I didn't finish it, but I got most of the way. So then after work, it's a really hectic day. Like I had what I'm calling the fire drill session last week, the first 3 days of my work week. And so it's a bit hectic of a day. So when I finally logged off, I just wanted to like go somewhere and write because I was most of the way through this midpoint, which again, it's a chaotic scene. A lot of things happen. I wanted to finish it. Like I was kind of into it. I wanted to finish it. So I went to the local sub place here in town and finished it. And then I moved on to 6.1. Then I started 6.2, which is a longer scene. So I kind of stopped partway through it and came home. And then that night I had a fantasy baseball auction. It's an auction that usually it takes me past midnight, close to 1 a.m. sometimes. But this time we were done by about 11:15, which was nice because I had to get up. I didn't go into the office the next day, so I didn't get up till 6:30. But I wouldn't want to have to get up at 5.
Are you being strategic about this and product placing bit characters in the story that have the names, at least first names of the people who work in your library? So that when you get the thing done, you can say, look, this has got all you guys' names in it. Let's put it on display. And I bet they would do it.
I'm actually not doing that.
Oh, okay.
But I bet they would do it anyway. Because,
they might, yeah.
Yeah, I remember many years ago, my first book, I got a text from this girl who works over there she's not in the writers club, but I knew her anyway. And she just texted me out of the blue and said, hey, look. And she showed me basically this. She showed me the book on a stand, kind of like this one is. And there was like a local author section where she had put it. So I was pretty happy about that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I feel like I'm being very hectic right now, but I'm kind of hyper right now. So then Tuesday, I worked from home again. And then again at lunch, I went across the street to the library, finished chapter 6, scene 2. I also split that scene into 2 chapters. Split chapter 6 into 2 chapters, which put me up to 10. 10 I was at that point I'm at chapter 10 or 10 chapters with 18 total scenes. Then in the evening I did it again. I don't normally do this, especially when I have to get up at 5 a.m. the next day. I went out to write and I went to Chick-fil-A. So I had submitted for covers to this 100 covers for book 2 paperback and book 3 ebook because I'm obviously going to put book 3 on pre-order when I publish book 2. And I did get something back from him. Was it that long ago? Wow. So I did get something back from him that I liked. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, this is great. I'm like, can you just add book 3 in the Sam Norris murder mystery series? That's all I asked him for. That was a week ago, and I have not got that back yet. I didn't realize it was a week ago. Holy cow.
Oh, really? Wow.
And then Chick-fil-A, I went into chapter 7, came home, hit the couch, didn't get up till 5 a.m. the next day. Went into work on this day. Another busy day. Again, this was our fire drill. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last week was a fire drill week. But we got through it. This was actually the last day. Probably by noon, I was like finally relaxing again. 11:55, I went to lunch. I worked on chapter 8, which is the fake denouement. This has like a fake ending, and then it has 2 more chapters that have to do with the overall arching plot of the entire series. So it's kind of a fake ending where Sam thinks he has the murder, but it turns out he's wrong. Spoiler alert. So then I went, what did I do? Let's see. So I wrote chapter 8. I also went back and worked on a few of the things to set up chapter 8, the clues, the things that Sam thinks allows him to name the murder, things like that. Once I got home, didn't do anything. So then last Thursday, continued working on the novella on my lunch break at work. I got farther into chapter 8, but I did not finish. So I was about 8.5 is kind of where I was at this point. I watched a whole bunch of weather stuff on YouTube because it was really stormy last Thursday, and I love watching. If you give me a map, like a radar map that has the line going around in a circle, and every time it goes past the area I live in, it updates and moves the storm a little bit further to the right, I will watch it for hours. I just love maps. Too. Then I watched a whole bunch of people reacting to a whole bunch of Billy Joel songs, and then I went to bed. So Friday, it's a half a day. I'm out at noon. I had my call with Ellie at 1:00 where we talked about the upcoming release and what to do leading up to it. And then, what to do after it when it comes to market. This is what the plan looks like. Boy, I don't remember typing this, so I hope this all makes sense as I read it back right now. So by April 6th, and it's actually going to be April 7th, which is next Tuesday, have everything ready. So book 1 changes, book 1.5 finished, book 2 pre-order, and book 3 pre-order. Book 2 pre-order for April 13th. So a week pre-order for book 2. Book 3 pre-order will be November 10th, which is a Tuesday, second Tuesday in November. Have everything up on Amazon, BookFunnel, digital, drafted digital, wherever it needs to be. Have it all up there and ready to go. I don't know if I'm going to make that, but I'm going to fake it well enough to where you might see something up there for book 2 or 3 that maybe there's a cover missing or something. There'll be a cover missing for book 2, but maybe book 3 has a cover missing.
This reminds me, I need to follow you on Amazon so I get the notice when that stuff goes
There you
on.
go. Yeah. Everybody should do that. If you're listening, you should do that. So hopefully, and here's the funny thing. The publishing date is April 14th. And let's hope nothing goes wrong when that order comes, because I have jury duty potentially the 2 weeks, April 13th and April 20th. The card says it's a 2-week thing. So really? I don't know if I'm going to be like, and I don't know if I've never done this before. I've never done jury duty before. So I know I call Friday night after 4:30 before the Monday, and then it'll tell me if I'm supposed to come in Monday. Then do I call every single night for 2 weeks? I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Wow, I have no clue.
2 weeks is long. It's like that's like a grand jury almost.
I don't know. It says it's a 2-week service, or 2-week whatever it is.
Is it your local district court or what?
It's county, right? No.
Okay, yeah, it's basically.
Yeah, I think it's county. I think it's the county. Wait, I think it is. Now I'm not sure. I think it's the county though. Okay, so let's see. So during the pre-order week, I'm going to publish to my Facebook page. I'm going to publish to my LinkedIn. I made a little joke about how I hate LinkedIn. I'm going to publish there just because there's a lot of people who know me on there, people I used to work with who said they were going to buy the book when it was ready, people I work with now who said the same thing. But after I said that, I made the little joke. She was like, actually, she likes LinkedIn to market to because it's not saturated. So I thought that was kind of interesting that she mentioned LinkedIn is something that she liked in terms of marketing to.
You're going to have a spaghetti bowl full of also bots.
Okay. I asked her about that. I don't think I have that on here. So let me talk about that real quick. Because I did ask her. I said, listen, a lot of the advice has been to when you publish, send an email out to your followers first, right? I'm trying to pull up my notes. Here it is. Send an email out to your followers first, and then wait like a week before you send it to family and friends, because they're going to mess up your also bots. And I said to her, is that a problem? And she said, not anymore. She said, it used to be absolutely. She said, but Amazon cares more about your A+ content, your description, which I'll talk about in a second because I got an idea about that, and a few other things to where the also bots aren't as big of a deal as they were before.
Okay. You know what this is? This is AI search coming into Amazon, where it's
exactly what it is, and I'll talk about that because it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, they're looking a lot more. They don't really care what other people have bought. They're looking more at what you have in terms of content and trying to match it up with what people are searching for. And
I will throw out the term natural language because I will say that here in a little while. Yeah. So that there's that. And in terms of pricing, she suggested that I drop book 1. It's currently $3.99. She said do one of two things: make it 99 cents or make it $2.99, because you're going to have a pre-order out there for book 3. So technically you'll have 3 books to offer. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I think what I would do is $2.99, because then I can still run Kindle countdown deals to 99 cents. And then I can try to stack, those companies. I can't think of any single one of them what they're called right now, but those like companies where you pay like $30.
Librarian.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to, so like, and she said you want to do that maybe 2 to 3 weeks after your release. Then you do a Kindle countdown deal for book 1, make it 99 cents, and then stack some of those promos and see what you can do with it. So I'll do that. We talked about Substack and MailerLite. I talked to her about how you and I had chatted about how to connect those two things together. She said what she does is she actually does like manually every month or every 3 months, she'll manually move everyone from MailerLite over to Substack. She's got to let them know ahead of time for GDPR. She's got to let them know. Is that right? GDPR? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
GDPR. So she's got to let them know ahead of time that she's doing that. I'm like, that just seems too much work for me. I don't really want to have to deal with the manual stuff and letting people know. All I'm going to do is email from MailerLite, and I'm going to advertise my Substack. If you like Perry Mason, come over here, and I'm going to just do normal every 2 weeks emails, which just I'll come up with something. I'm not too concerned about that. And then on Substack, I'll post to it and I'll mention, hey, by the way, if you want a free book, go here and he'll join my mailing list. That's right. I'm going to keep them separate, but I'm going to market each of them to the other one. So that's kind of.
Let me ask this question. Maybe you didn't talk about this with her, but if you're running your website and you're also running your Substack, then you're potentially going to get unique emails in both places. Right. So are you going to be shifting people from Substack to your mailing list outside Substack and shifting stuff from your mailing list over to Substack? Or
I'm only going to advertise that the other one exists.
Okay. And
if they want to join, they can. That's it. Okay. I'm not gonna do any moving of email addresses. I'm not gonna do any of that. It's too much work. I don't really feel like I'm managing that.
Okay.
But the thing is if somebody joins the mailing list and I say, by the way, if you like Perry Mason, and they click the link and they join the Substack, they're going to be getting 2 messages from me. And I think what I would probably do is say, if you want to join, if you want to read the Perry Mason, go join the Substack. And if you don't want to get 2 emails from me, unsubscribe from me. I don't know if I would say that or not, but that would happen. Okay. So, but no, I'm not going to manually do anything. Let's see. So then I went to what's that?
I'm a computer guy. I have a job and I don't have to do anything manual. I don't want to do anything manual.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything manual. It's terrible. Let's see. Went downtown, had a salad as I continue to try to cut down my sugar. While I was there, I did reply back to the 100 covers people about my book 2 paperback cover. In both cases now, the book 2 paperback and the book 3 ebook cover, I never told them, please put on here book 2 in the Sam Norris Murder Mystery Series and book 3 in the SMMS, whatever it is. So both of my changes now that I've emailed them in the last week and a half or so have been, please add this. I like what you did. Just add this and get it back to me. That's all I'm waiting on. And I did ask him, by the way, can you do book 2, the ebook? Because I didn't put it on there either. And I'll pay you if you want me to. And I just haven't heard back from them. And it's been a couple of days since I heard anything from them. And I expect to get them this week. But it's just I'm sure they're I'm not their only client. So
and they're also in the Ukraine, I think. So
I didn't even know. I had no idea. Okay. So. Let's see. Then I pulled. Okay, so now we get into the fun stuff. I pulled down C's edits of book 2. This is the copy edit that really wasn't just a copy edit. It was a copy edit where she also sent me a 7-page document with more suggestions. The first 3 pages were just about the first 3 or 4 chapters with things I need to do, move around, change, delete, edit, all this stuff. And then the last 4 pages, actually, I don't even know what 5, 6, and 7 look like. I just know that page 4 has bullet points for the whole story with things that I should look into or remember or try to figure out. Or I haven't even looked at 5, 6, and 7 yet, so I have no clue what they even look like. And inside the copy edit, you can do the comments in Word and you can track them and all that stuff. There were, I believe, 210 comments. Not just, so I went in and I went into the review section, into the changes that she made. I just hit accept all. Mm-hmm. But that didn't take care of the 210 comments for, probably, 3, 4 a chapter or whatever. Some chapters had 1, some chapters have 10. Holy cow, did she give me a lot of stuff to think about. I did not expect this. So the first thing I did was...
Okay, now you got me thinking here. I wonder if you took that whole document, dropped it into ChatGPT, and said, take care of these comments for me. Make the changes that are being suggested and see what happens. It would be a fun experiment just to see what happens.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't do it in ChatGPT. I would do it in Notebook LM.
Okay.
100%. I also wouldn't trust that it would make good decisions with a lot of the ones that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of them would probably be fine. Some of the comments were just her telling me what she changed. I could just get rid of those immediately. But yeah, some of them are pretty extensive, as you'll see as I'm going through this. So now I'm at now I'm at book 1.5, and I'm stopped at chapter 8.5, and now I'm fully into book 2. Unfortunately, while I was at the sub place eating my salad, there was no one there for whatever reason. So I ended up BSing with the guy who owns it most of the time I was there. Nice guy, his name's Nick. He was actually telling me how he uses Facebook ads when he needs to and how they work for him as a sandwich place. And he talked about how he did Google ads, which I thought was pretty interesting. We were talking about how I target books versus how he targets. You know, we have a Subway in town, and he was like, "Don't tell them, but I target them." I'm like, "Dude, I think they probably know it."
Yeah.
And I go, "By the way, if you're going to target them, you may want to target yourself too, because they're probably targeting you. Right. And if somebody types your stuff, you don't want Subway coming up." And he's like, "Oh, I'll have to think about that." And so it was just an interesting conversation. But again, I didn't get much done, unfortunately. So Saturday now, I'm up on my way to Chick-fil-A, and this past Saturday, 4 days ago, whatever. And I'm kind of torn here on what to do. I have two things going on. Do I want to finish book 1.5? Again, I'm 8.5 out of 10, so I got 1.5 chapters. Yeah, 1.5 chapters. And that's not right. I think I was in. No, that's right. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. So that's 2.5 chapters left to go. 8.5, 9, and 10. So 2.5 chapters left to go. But I also have book 2 that I want to get started on, and so I got there, started going through the suggestions for book 2, and I decided that what I was going to do was, anytime I'm doing lunch, I'm in a restaurant, I'm at work, or I'm at the library on my lunch break, I'm going to work on book 1.5, because 2.5 chapters left. I'll get it done quickly, and I can't really read to myself. I can put headphones on if I want, but I can't really read to myself that well if I'm out somewhere in public. Right. So I got there, I started working on book 1.5, and I just did not feel well. My sinuses were goofy. I was sneezing. So I was there. I was there an hour and I left. I just came home. Then I got home and thought, well, I'm home. I'm going to work on book 2. So I basically was going through each chapter, reading her comments. I ended up working from probably 11 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock that night. Wow. Obviously getting up for groceries or to get the dog or, make dinner. I was doing laundry, things like that. But I ended up doing, and we're going to have some fun with numbers over the next few minutes here. I ended up doing the first 13 chapters, which out of 37 total. This was 26,000, the first 26,389 words. And by the time I was done, the 207 comments she gave me were down to 133. So that, nice. I felt like is a lot of progress. Yeah, that was good. So now Sunday, I'm up early. I'm looking to keep working on book 2. I started on chapter 14, and then I got through chapter 17. These were some tough chapters. I only got 4 chapters here, and these were some tough ones. There was some stuff in the middle where she made a lot of suggestions about the actual story itself, the plot itself, not the overall plot, but little things that happened here and there that she thought I needed to change because it didn't make sense. I wasn't doing things in the right order, things like that. Around 1:30, I stopped because this is where my buddy Tim called me and said, "You want to go golfing?" So it was him and his 10-year-old who's been golfing for like 4 years. He's got a pretty good swing. He swings too fast, but he's got a pretty good swing. So we went golf. We just played 9 holes. I think I shot a 48, which I wouldn't be happy with in the summer, but it was wet. It was windy. It was cart path only, which means I have a lot of walking. I don't like that. Also, the first time I played since November. So, with all those excuses, I'm okay with a 48 on my first 9 holes. I did use my mini driver and I hit it pretty well, which I'm very happy about. I'm so excited to get that to the big course on the weekends, just to see how I do with it. Then once I got home, I made some dinner, and then I continued where I left off and got through chapter 20. So at the end of Sunday now, it's probably 7:45, 8 o'clock again. I'm done with 20 out of 37 chapters. I've cleared away more of her comments. I'm down to 81. So I was at 207. Now I'm down to 81. I'm through 142 pages of the current 263, and I'm through 36,268 words of the now total 66,610. So I'm past halfway. The weekend was great.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Now past halfway. So now Monday, I go into the office. This is 2 days ago. I go into the office. I went back to 1.5 at lunch, and I started in the middle of chapter 8 and finished it. Actually, chapters 9 and 10, I had edited those already. The storyline wasn't changing much, so it wasn't that hard. So this is where I got to 10 chapters, 15,813 words on my novella, about 65 pages. It will need one more run through. So I'm calling it revision Y. It will need one more run through where I let Word read it to me and just make sure it sounds good as I read it. And that should be pretty easy. I'm hoping to do that Saturday, which is going to sound weird when I tell you what I'm doing this week. All right. So then I started thinking on this day about my descriptions, and it came because I was listening to a podcast I'll talk about a little bit later. I've been doing my descriptions the same way that I learned from Brian Cohen and Brian Meeks back in the day, going to 20 books conferences. You know, it's like the short, punchy paragraphs, 1 or 2 sentences, and then one line that's bold-faced, a hook. You know, then you introduce the character and their world, and then you have the here's what happened, that kind of, not the midpoint, the inciting incident. Then you say, what happens if he doesn't succeed? Could the world end and everybody dies and blah, blah, blah. And then you say, get it now, that kind of thing. I've been doing that for all of my books for years. But as we said earlier, as you said with AI and I said with natural language, I think I'm going to change around how I do I'm going to edit all of them. I think I'm going to edit all my descriptions, including the books I'm putting up this coming week, to where it's more of a, if someone was to ask me what my book was about, it's how I would tell them what it was about. You know, there's a guy, he's this, he's that, he's going to go here. I'm not going to give anything away, no spoilers in it, but I think that's what I'm going to do with this. And I'm going to see if it makes, I don't even know how to, that's the one thing is I'm going to see if it makes a difference. I don't know how to tell if it makes a difference. I have no idea.
You can't really A/B test it or anything.
Right. Yeah. So unless I leave it what it is for the next couple of months and then change it, right. But then it's 2 months later. Right. I feel like it's going to, the sales are going to die down as it goes. I have no idea, but I'm going to try that anyway, just to see what happens. So then once I got home from work Monday night, I did chapters 21, 22, and 23, which put me at 39,481 words of the now 66,800, which now I'm down to 71 comments, which is nice. And I'm thinking that most of them are in the climax. And as I'm looking at them earlier today, they are, which is, I'm a little scared about.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I worked from home. At lunch, I started to work on chapter 24. Ended up on a work call, though, for about a half an hour during my lunch break, so I didn't get very far with it. And then in the evening, I continued working on it. I got through chapters 24, 25, 26, 27. I did begin chapter 28, but the thunder started, and Max started freaking out. So I had to sit on the couch with him for pretty much the rest of the night. But I was through chapter 28. I was down to just 51 comments. So I'm basically 75% of the way through her comments, which is nice. And then today, I worked from home. On my lunch break, I had a guy that was supposed to come over to take a look at my driveway to give me a quote on how much for new blacktop. I had a guy last year come and told me $5,900. And I was like, that's not too bad. I think I'm going to do that. So I texted him a couple weeks ago and he said, yeah, we don't do residential anymore. We only do commercial. And I said, well, you have any recommendations? And he gave me the name of a guy and he was supposed to come out today from 11 to 1. And at 12:15, they called me and said, he's sick. How about next week? And I said, that's fine. So we rescheduled it for next week, same time, next Wednesday. At lunch, I was able to do both chapters 29 and 30. Not a lot of notes in these, so I got through them pretty quickly. Plus 30 was pretty short. And then after work, I was only able to do chapter 1. It's a really long chapter. It's a very important chapter. I was literally doing it as you were trying to sign in. I was trying to finish it so I could talk about it in this podcast. So now I am through 227 pages of 265. I am through chapter 31. I have 38 comments left, so I'm down pretty low there. And actually I'm down, it says 40 in the outline, but I'm actually at 38 because I did 2 of them after your mic wasn't working and you had to log off and then come back, and I opened it up real quick and just knocked off 2 more comments. So I have 7 chapters left. I have 38 comments to go, and then I have to dive into the last 4 pages of that Word doc to see what else she's suggesting. And then hopefully I'm hoping to get it done tomorrow night, but I don't think that I will. We'll see.
Man, you've really been on a roll. This
is
a lot of work.
The last couple of weeks, it's all, I haven't played, I have these football games down here that I play, the NASCAR game. I don't think I've played anything in like the last 8 or 9 days since that Sunday. Maybe I played something on Monday night. I don't remember, but yeah, it's just, this is all I've been doing. I'll do this until, 7:45 to 8:30. And then I just go to the couch and I go to bed an hour later. That's what I've been doing.
So as you're going through this, can you tell where you've accepted changes that have been made by her in your text, or you just kind of blown through them? You can't even tell.
So what I do is I can't tell. So what I do is I go through the comments for the chapter first, knock all those off. And then I go back and have Word read it to me. And my guess is if I would hear something that didn't sound right, because like there were a couple places where she doesn't understand golf. So she would say something and be like, I don't know what this means. And I would be like, it's fine. It means this in golf. And I think to myself, well, if she doesn't know what it means, there's going to be people who read it who don't know what it means. I should probably explain it a little better. So I would make that change. But there's a poker reference I made that I'm just going to leave in there. It was one of my characters saying, she caught a something or other. And then one of my other characters says, well, she caught a fish. That's a poker term. And there's a lot of poker talk in this book. So I'm just going to leave it in there. And if only a couple people get it, that's fine. I'm not too concerned. It's literally one line. It means nothing to the plot. And if you skip past it and don't understand it, you lose nothing. So things like that I'm leaving in. But most of the stuff that she suggested, I am changing. And I can't tell where I can go back and do the comparing, but that would take me days.
No, you wouldn't want to do that. Yeah. I was just wondering if it was obvious or not.
Not really. No, I don't think it has been. No, unless there's a word there that I never use, and then I change it back to my word.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I want it to sound like me. Yeah. Like aloft. I would never ever use the word aloft. I would just say up higher or held it up in the air. And it's always, the Grammarly always wants me to change it to aloft. And I'm like, no, that's not how I speak. And that's not how I write. So I don't change it.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you did that, then if somebody threw it into a AI detection thing like they did with Mia Ballard's novel, then it would show up as AI. So,
and I'll tell you, one of the things I do in Grammarly, the last thing I do after I've corrected everything is I run it. They have an AI checker, and if it says 1%, I don't care. I'm changing it. It's like I didn't use AI to write this. I'm not getting accused of it. I'm going to change it. So I have a whole thing in there, a computer terminology I was dealing with today. How you set up a I don't know what it's called off the top of my head, like an internal sandbox on your computer that you can download something to, and then you can run it. And if there's a virus, who cares? You just delete that instance of that machine, virtual machine. You just delete that virtual machine, and then you're back to your machine and you're fine. So I explained that. I probably looked it up somewhere, but I explained it, and then the AI checker picked it up as AI, and I'm like, that's not AI. I didn't use AI to write it. Right. But so but I don't care. I still went in and changed it around until the AI checker didn't have it. So if you run it through Grammarly's AI checker, it'll be 0% when I'm done with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've played around with dumping stuff in there, stuff that AI has written, stuff that I've written, and it just basically all comes out about the same. I think they're just all honing in on the idea that it's 30% or whatever.
Well, what's funny is I think I was listening to so I really, really like this Writers Inc. podcast. It has oh man, I always forget his name. It's Christine Daigle. I like her. It's this girl, Jenna Brown, who wasn't on this week for some reason. I don't know much about her. She doesn't talk as much as the rest of them. And then it's JD Barker. I believe the podcast might be his. Okay. And they're just on every week. And I'm trying to find. Okay. He's a big name. Is it? Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, he's good too. He's really good on it. Here it is. Is it Kevin Tomlinson? I get those two mixed. Yeah, it's Kevin Tomlinson, who I like. That guy's funny. And he was talking a couple weeks ago about how oh god, now I've lost my complete train of thought. It had to do with the writer. What he said was, and this makes complete sense. He's like, you trained the AI on all these books, right? So now when you write, the AI is going to think it's AI because you're writing, and it was trained on your books. Like it's like a circular thing that's weird. Right. So I just find
even more
funny.
Insidious than that. On Substack, there was a long post about a guy that got in trouble with his master's degree because the university's AI detection software, which I think was called Submit It, kept on flagging it as being 96, 97%. So the guy did a deep dive into the company that runs this Submit It. And it turns out that the company that runs that also has an adjacent company, which for a low fee of $100 a month will make sure that what you're turning in does not flag as AI in Submit It. So it's it's a scam. It's basically
that's what I said last time.
Yeah.
Grammarly has 3 tabs: one where they check the grammar, one where they check to make sure it doesn't match AI, and one where they'll say, "Do you want to write this with AI?"
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is.
So anyways, that's my week. That's my 2 weeks. A lot of work. I'm not done yet, but I'll feel a lot better. I think next Monday. I think I'll feel a lot better. So
yeah. I mean, you're gonna be ready to go here in a couple of weeks. It'll be nice. You'll really feel like you have something accomplished once out there. I'll
be a lot happier when I'm only working on book 3. I'll just be a lot happier.
Yeah. Well, I've had an exhausting couple of weeks, as I said at the top of the podcast. A lot of evening stuff going on. I'll go back all the way to I think it was did we podcast on a Thursday last time?
It was a Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, so Thursday. Back to last Friday through Sunday of that week, I was working at the library, but we were mostly fully staffed, believe it or not. Hard to believe, really. And it was really kind of slow. So I found a lot of time to get some editing done. So I decided I was going to try getting Claude involved. Now, the first 10 chapters I've done of this rewrite, I've just done it on my own. I decided I'm going to try getting Claude involved and see what happens in terms of the editing process. So what I did is I set it up such that I would let it guide me along whichever way it wanted to in terms of doing the editing. And it turns out that what it wanted to do is look at what I did paragraph by paragraph, and us to go back and forth making decisions about what to change, what not to change, what was confusing, what was, didn't push the plot forward or was against the characterization of the characters in the first 10 chapters. By the time we were done with that chapter, which was chapter 11, it had cost me something like $20 to do that one chapter. Now, part of it was my fault because I kept on losing the plot because we were doing it in such small chunks and I didn't know where we were. So I needed it to more than a couple times just regurgitate the entire chapter so I knew where we were and what was going on. So burned a lot of tokens that way. But after that experience, I decided, okay, Claude's smart enough. We should be able to figure this out. I asked it, okay, how should we really do this if I want to save some money? Because $20 a chapter is a little bit too steep. I'm not interested in coming out of this having spent $700 or $800 on the AI. So give me ideas. Okay, let's just do a high level edit first. I'll just take a high level pass at the plot, whether the plot is consistent with what's happened before, whether it's actually progressing, and whether the characters are all acting the way they should be acting. And that worked out a lot better. We went back and forth about that a little bit. Because we were talking at a high level, I didn't have to get it to completely regurgitate the chapter every time. And then I decided after we did that, which cost about $1 to go through the chapter, it gave me the ideas of what I needed to fix. I went in and fixed them. And then I just gave it back to him and said, okay, look at the grammar and everything, but ignore sentence structure, ignore all those kinds of things that tend to flatten the authorial voice that you have. Don't give me a lofts when I could use a higher.
Exactly.
And that worked pretty well. There was not one or two times they wanted to suggest restructuring a sentence because they didn't like the way it was structured. But I looked at it and I said, well, that's just the way I want it to be structured because it's kind of the way this book, the voice in this book is like that. So that worked out a lot better. And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna go through the rest of this book using Claude in that way. Just give me the overview of what needs to be done, what's really horrible. And of course, I had to tell it up front, look, I want you to be Sister Mary Margaret standing over me with a ruler. You're going to give it to me because I haven't learned my English grammar rules and stuff. I want you to be really brutal about what you tell me. And, it did. It got brutal. But you really have to give it permission to do that. And you have to remind it every now and then, or else it doesn't do it. Monday of the week before, last week, I guess it was, right? Yeah, last week, Monday. It was a day off for me since I had worked that Sunday. So because, you're supposed to rest and relax on your days off, I spent the whole day out in the hot sun tearing the roof off our greenhouse. And when I say tearing off, I mean literally tearing it off. I took the plastic off of it. I took all the roof rafters off, the centerboard, the roof joists came out. Everything came out on the first step to rebuilding it. Because we spent like $1,000 getting the materials to put on a really good 30-year fiberglass roof on it, and I wanted to make sure that the wood underneath it was going to hold up that long. So that wasted me for the entire day because after I was done with that, being out in the hot sun and everything, I came in and just didn't do anything. Actually, what I think I did is I got my trains rolling on my track and just kind of watched them go round and round, which is really kind of meditative when you think about it.
Yeah.
Especially with these because it's using a digital command control. So it's not like in the old days where it was just DC and you would just kind of run them. Now you've got on board on the locomotives, you've got decoders and you can do horn sounds, you can do bell sounds, you can do steam and brakes and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's really nice. So you can just play around.
Yeah.
Tuesday through Saturday of last week, I was again in the library all those days. I did manage to pick up the editing pace a little bit. plowed through a new chapter each day, actually. So 5 more chapters last week, and that got me through chapter 17. I think I've decided that although Claude doesn't make the process really any faster, I think it does keep me more focused on what's going on. Because at least for lack of a better term, focused. Because I have a tendency that as I'm editing, I will get like a chapter done or part of the chapter done, and I'll get really mentally tired, trying to keep everything in my head about what's going on. And I don't really have to do that quite as much when I'm going back and forth with Claude, because it's constantly reminding me about where I'm at and what I should be focusing on. And it's kind of like having somebody, another writer that you're bouncing ideas off of or something. And it works a lot better that way. It keeps my mind from wandering. And I don't get lost. As I've mentioned before in this podcast, I have trouble sometimes getting lost in the film of the story that's playing in my head. And I'll just kind of sit there and it's playing in my head, but I'm not doing anything on the computer screen. And that really, doesn't help. This past Sunday, and Monday, I had off. I devoted it to rebuilding the structure of the greenhouse roof. So I got all new joists, all new rafters, new center pole in. And so I'm really just at the point now where I can start putting the actual fiberglass roof on. I had to wait for some parts to come in. They came in, I think, today. I thought I didn't check. They were supposed to come in today. I also got some of my plants planted in the vegetable garden. I planted the rest of my chili potatoes, and then I planted cantaloupe and watermelon and a few tomato seeds. I got flats and flats of lettuce and kale and cucumbers and stuff I still have to plant. So I'm going to try to get to that in the next 2 weeks or so. Yesterday and today, I got to complete the edits in 2 more chapters. So that brought me up to chapter 19 while working at the library. I also started filling out forms related to my late mother's estate, which is a pain in the ass, man. And then just before I left to come home and do this podcast, I get a text from my brother saying, "Oh, what do you think about me just renting the condo instead of us selling it?" I go, "Oh, geez." And this is my brother. Has gone off the rails at least twice in the last 10 years. So yeah, we're gonna have to be dealing with that going forward. But anyways, in terms of the writing, I've given myself that 1 week goal of 3 chapters. So expand that out to 2 weeks, that'd be 6 chapters. I actually did 9. So it was a successful 2 weeks.
All right.
My running list of future things to do, other than replacing the greenhouse roof, and those materials have all come in. That's going to be my big for next week and my big accomplishment. If I can get that done, I will be super happy. And so will my wife, for that matter.
Mine, I'm using it as not only a running list of future things to do, but also a list of things to do for these releases that are coming up. And I still have on there, published a Substack, set up my automation process in MailerLite. That's new. This is going to be, there was a really good video from BookFunnel. I don't know when the video happened. I don't know if it's a recent video. I think it's pretty recent, about how to use MailerLite. They had MailerLite on the screen showing how to do MailerLite with an automation process and how to use it with BookFunnel. And I watched that. I might watch it again. It was really good. He gave a really nice example of a process. He also said that you should probably, in his experience, with being with BookFunnel, the most success he's gotten in terms of an automation process is every day you email someone for like 5 days or 4 days or something like that, depending on how big your process is. Mm-hmm. And because what I was doing was going, 5 minutes after you download the book, send an email that says, "Thank you for downloading the book. If you didn't get it, here's a link." Then 24 hours later, "Hey, did you get a chance to read it?" And then maybe 7 days later. I think I like the idea. And he said that really doing like different, like the first one is, did you get the book? And one thing he said was, did you get the book? And if you are having trouble, contact BookFunnel. I never did that before. I think that's pretty smart. Yeah. I'm probably going to add that. I have to redo them because they deleted mine last year when I stopped paying them. But then they really are. The second one should be introduce yourself. The third one should be, here's some content that I'm going to give you. The fourth one should be a call to action. By the way, I have this book, something like that. And I'm going to probably follow that when I reset mine up. So that's on here.
And don't miss an opportunity to say, "Oh, here's a picture of Max, my dog."
Oh, 100%. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
like
he's the star. Yeah. Send an email from MailerLite, set up my Etsy and ebook. Go to Draft Digital. I'll do this when I set up my other books, but make sure I can get the ebooks into the library because that's apparently allowed now, which I didn't know that. We talked about this a couple weeks ago that you can actually, even if you're in KU, you can put your ebooks into the library places, which is great. In terms of my addicted to, I have nothing here. I literally have nothing here. I thought about this yesterday. I thought about this on the weekend. All I've been doing is editing book 2.
No, you've got the best addicted to, which is writing. Writing.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess on a writing podcast, that's what you want.
Yeah, you're writing. You're getting into the writing life. Me, I'm getting into the cookie life.
It's also a good one.
Yeah. Last time we were podcasting, I had just bought 8 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. 6 of those are gone. And to make matters worse, sometime during last week, I bought a family-sized pack of Chips Ahoy chunky chocolate cookies, and I ate all of them. So
nice.
And somehow I'm still down a couple of pounds over the last 2 weeks, so I don't know how that happened.
Oh, okay. That's a great diet. I don't know how you're doing it, but congratulations.
It's like when I was in the dorm and we were co-ed in my dorm, co-ed by suite. So the girls being crazy, just out of teens girls, they would always go on these fad diets. And one of my favorite was that I would always join in with was a beer and pizza diet. All they would do is eat beer and pizza. Drink beer and eat pizza.
I mean, diet doesn't mean lose weight. It just means the collection of things you're eating, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's your diet.
So a pizza and beer and pizza diet is a diet. I mean, so let's see. What do we have here? All right. So coming up for me this week. So this is going to be an interesting week. You're going to hear me talk a lot about organizing everything to have it ready to go. Because at some point I'm going to finish book 2. I'm going to finish book 1.5, and then I'm going to spend a lot of time just getting everything together to make sure book 1 is ready to go and it's uploaded to Kindle or Amazon. Book 2 pre-order is uploaded to Amazon. Book 3 pre-order is up there. Everything's in Drafted Digital. Everything's in Book Funnel. My MailerLite automation sequence is set up. Like that's when I say organizing, that's what I'm talking about.
Are you going to write yourself out a big flow chart?
I probably should use these bulletin boards for something. Can you see? You can't see any of the bulletin boards. There's one. No, you can't even
see the one behind you. Yeah.
No, that's just a curtain.
No, I mean the whiteboard.
Oh no, I'm talking about. I think I've talked about this before, but when I very first started writing my very first book, 2016, I picked up my mom at her house and we drove to Home Depot and I bought a 4-foot by 8-foot piece of, I don't know, maybe 1/2-inch thick insulation board, like foam insulation board. And then we went to Joann Fabrics and I bought dark blue duck cloth.
Okay.
And I took everything back to her house. We cut the foam board in half and then she cut the cloth for me and we stapled it to it. And now on this wall right here, I have a 4x3 bulletin board that I use for Post-it notes or not for note cards I can tack up there. I have a whole bunch of stuff up there. I have a back scratcher hanging up there. That's good. I have my Bernie Kosar football card hanging up there. See right there.
I've got great ideas for you. I run out. My well is empty when I think about ideas for me. But what you need to do, you've probably seen the meme about the guy trying to explain something. There's a cork board there, and there's all kinds of things posted.
Oh, yeah.
There's yarn going everywhere. You need to do one of those on that board, and then you can take a picture of yourself standing with the same kind of pose, and you could use that in one of your emails. It would be great.
It'd be a great author photo.
Yeah.
Something else that I have here is a very dirty, autographed Ozzie Newsome picture. Right. But inside there is where I keep this, Rich. This right here. This is a bingo card. Right. And when I was 15 years old, that would be 1989. 1989. I went to a breakfast bingo with my grandparents and my parents. And I was, again, 15. And the grand prize was the coverall for $1,000. And they called 066 as the last number right there. And that won me $1,000 as a 15-year-old.
Wow.
So I've kept
that was
bingo
real money
card
back then.
They gave it to me in 5 cents and 20s.
Oh wow!
And I walked in and my sister Lindsay, she was like, "Did you win anything?" And I flicked it at her, just went everywhere. And I was like, "I did okay."
Back in the 70s, it was kind of hard to spend the 20.
Okay,
I didn't know that. Well, people wouldn't want to break it. I do remember.
Really?
that.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
That's interesting. Boy, that's a lot different nowadays.
And heaven help you if you had 100. Nobody would break 100.
Yeah,
In fact, we had
right.
this one guy in the group that I ran with who always would come, and when it came time to pay for anything, it would be, all I've got is 100.
So that was his ploy to not have to pay for anything. Yeah, it's very smart. All right. So tomorrow I'm in the office. I will continue working on book 2. Even though I'm in the office, I'm going to continue working on book 2. I'm really close. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and try to clear out the 38 comments. I'm not going to do any read it, and I'm not going to have Word read it back to me while I'm in the office. I'm just going to do my best to clear out the 38 comments that are in there. And then that way, when I get home Thursday night, I can just have it read to me straight through from start to finish, and then maybe call it done. It's a lot of work. I don't know if I'm going to get it done tomorrow, but I'm going to really try to. Friday, I'm working from home, half a day, which is like I say half a day, it's 5 hours, 7 to 12. And then I'm going to leave. Now, I'm going to Columbus on Friday night to go to I don't know if you're familiar with the UFL. It's like over the past 4 or 5 years, there's been XFL and USFL. They're trying to create this spring football. Well, the UFL has been around now for a couple of years.
Is that Dwayne Johnson's thing?
No, I don't think so. He's not the owner anymore. I can't remember the owner's name. I don't remember the owner's name. It's not The Rock. I think he bought the XFL at some point. I think
that's what
I think when it all merged, maybe this guy bought it. I'm not sure. Okay. But Columbus got a team this year for the first time, the Columbus Aviators. And the head coach is actually Teddy Ginn, who's a Cleveland guy, played in the NFL, played for Ohio State, and played in the NFL. And the offensive coordinator is Todd Haley, who was the Browns offensive coordinator 4 or 5 years ago, and the Steelers offensive coordinator before that. So that's kind of fun. But we're going to go to that game. That game is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, or I'm sorry, Friday night at 8 o'clock. And during the day, though, so,
is that arena or is it
No, it's just, it's literally spring. It's the same as the NFL. They have a couple different rules, but it's mostly the same. It's got a lot of the cast offs from the NFL, some names that I know from watching college football.
Yeah.
But I don't have to, so my buddy Brian, who I'm going to his house and we're going to the game, he works. So he gets home at 4:30. So I can't just leave at noon and be down there at 2:30 doing nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue the working on book 2 Friday after I log off at noon. I'll probably grab some lunch and then I'll continue working on it until I'm ready to leave around 2:30. So I will have a couple hours on Friday to keep working on this. I really, really, if I don't get it done tomorrow, book 2, I really hope I can get it done Friday. I really want to. Saturday, so I'm going to spend the night at his house, and then Saturday, my other 2 buddies, Tim and Dave, are going to come down, and we're going to go to a Columbus Blue Jackets game Saturday night, hockey game. Columbus is in this weird playoff push that you don't see them in usually very often this time of the year, but they're actually a really good team. They've on a pretty good streak the last couple of months. But so Saturday, though, I don't know what we're doing during the day. I would like to get some time in either in the morning or the early afternoon to start, working on publishing these things, or at least getting them uploaded and ready to go, get a little bit of work done, because I can't imagine that we're going to just hang out all day. Maybe I don't know what plans he has. He's listening to this. He'll probably tell me. So that'll be Saturday. And then I'm going to get up Sunday morning. We're going to go to breakfast, because that's what we do on Sunday morning when I go down there. I love the breakfast that we go to. And then I'll drive home. I should be home by like 11, 12 o'clock. And then I'll work all day Sunday on whatever I have to work on for this stuff also. So again, continue to work until I get it done. Monday, I'm back in the office and I'll continue to get this stuff together. Tuesday or Thursday, I don't know which day yet I'm going to go into the office, but one of those days I'll go in the office. Either way, I'll keep working at lunch. And then Wednesday, I will be working at home, because that blacktop guy is supposed to come on my lunch break again. Hopefully he makes it next week and give me a quote on what it's going to take to redo my driveway. My goal for the week. All right, here we go, Rich. My goal for the week is to have the pre-order for books 2 and 3 up on Amazon by Monday. The pre-order starts Tuesday, April 7th for book 2. Goes up. It's 1 week pre-order. Officially released on the 14th. Book 3 starts on the same day and will be scheduled to go on sale November 10th. This is, of course, hoping that I get the covers that I need. I also have to get a cover for book 1.5. Let me get your opinion on this.
Okay.
Book 1.5 is a novella that I'm giving away for free. It's never going to be advertised on Amazon. It's not going to be on Drafted. It's not going to be any of this place. The only place that it's going to be is BookFunnel. It's the only place you can get it. And the only way you can get it is by clicking one of the links in whatever, the back of book 1 and an email, whatever it is that you have. Then you give me your email address. Mm-hmm. Now it will be featured in promos where there could be 100 books or 30 books. So there will be a cover up there, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think I need to spend a lot of money on this cover, because who cares? I'm not using it to sell. Now the question is, do I use ChatGPT to generate a cover, or do I go to the goonwrite.com, who I really like his stuff, and find a pre-made for $30 and have him do it? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I would. If it was me, I would go on Right
Yeah.
or whatever it's called, and just get the $30 version. If
And
there's something there that looks like it would work, yeah.
Yes.
There's that's way you get they can put the title on for you, and you don't have to worry about any of that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
you
that's kind of where I'm leaning.
Freaking out about it.
Exactly. That's kind of where I'm leaning. I've used this stuff before. I really like him. It's cheap, but it looks good. Now the thing is I have looked at his crime thriller section and had not really seen anything in there that I really like for this book.
Mm-hmm.
So I may look around for other pre-made covers, other websites that do them just to see what else they have. But that's probably where I'm leaning. I did ask Ellie, the marketing woman. I sent her a note about a couple hours ago asking her what she thought, and we'll see what she has to say. But that's kind of where I'm leaning. I like the idea of somebody actually doing it. So
yeah, I think so too.
So that would be the goal, is to get all that stuff done.
Doesn't 100 Covers have a pre-made section as well?
Oh, I don't know. Let's look. That'd be great if they did.
I think they do.
I like them. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of using them over the big expensive $500 ones that I used to do when I first started. Right. Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh wait, that's their portfolio. Damn, those were good looking covers. And now I know why.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, a lot of times, what ends up in those pre-mates is the rejects that people didn't want. So
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't see anything here.
Okay.
On their site, but there are plenty of them that exist, so I'll have to look around and see if I can find something. But yeah, so that's the goal, is just by next Wednesday I want to have it done by Monday, because Tuesday's the day I want the pre-sale to start for the second book. But so that's kind of what I'm looking for the goal.
Yeah. Well, my coming week, tomorrow we have in-service training, so from 8:30 till 3 in the afternoon, I'm gonna have to pretend I'm interested in library stuff, as opposed to just showing up there to get a paycheck. And also because they've got us moving to breakout sessions and they're kind of keeping track of you and everything, I won't get any editing done.
That's terrible.
Yeah, maybe since I'm getting off at 3, I may be able to come home and do something in the evening. Friday through Sunday, I'm going to be off for the Easter weekend, but like I said earlier, I'm committed to finishing that greenhouse roof, and I'll be really lucky to get any editing done on the weekend. But Monday through Wednesday, I'll be back working the normal shifts at the library, and if it's not too busy, which it probably shouldn't be because it really hasn't been, I should be able to get at least a couple of chapters done. So I'm going to set as a goal 3 chapters for the next week, and even if I don't get anything done until Monday, I should be able to get one done Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that's going to be my goal. And in terms of stuff to share, I really don't have anything important. I mean, I've been kind of, this whole thing with the AI and the way it's been blowing up and everything has been kind of unfortunate with Mia Ballard and her book. I don't know if you've heard about that or not. Yeah,
I know the basic story, but I have not looked into it at all.
Yeah. It's really, it's bizarre. I don't know what Hachette was thinking about pulling that book. But especially after the reason they bought it. That book was self-published and it was out there for like 2 years before they bought it, and then they decided they didn't want to publish it because some clown on Reddit ran it through an AI and it came out at like 90-some% or whatever.
This always reminds me of like when somebody gets in trouble for saying something they shouldn't say, that 99% of the world didn't care that they said it.
Right.
And instead of going out there and, all of a sudden now they're canceled and all this. And if you just push through it, there'll be another scandal 3 days from now. Yeah. And, they should have just let it go and just get through it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Because if Hachette just released that book, 95% of the people who would ever see that book would not, number one, probably don't even know that AI can be used to help write books, and number 2, wouldn't care.
Yeah.
So, really, that's been kind of upsetting. But nothing to share other than that.
I realized as you were talking that Sunday is Easter, and we're not, Easter has never been a big holiday in the household with the family. And I had forgotten, and I said that I hope we go get that breakfast on Sunday morning, but now I'm worried that they're going to be closed. I'm not sure now. So
I don't think places closed for Easter Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, because I love that breakfast. It's so good. I do have one thing to share real quick, and it's the podcast I was talking about, right, where they were talking about the Amazon not necessarily caring too much about your description or your also bots more. It was basically a podcast about the new algorithm, the A10 algorithm. And they really went in depth talking about it. Like I did not realize that the algorithm was this big in-depth thing that they do. I just thought, I'm a computer programmer. I could write something that does if this, do that, if this, do that. But apparently it's this big giant thing. And I guess there's a lot of AI in it. And they did talk about natural language, which is what got me thinking about my description. So it's the Written Word podcast. It's from the people from Written Word Media who do one of those promo sites that we were talking about earlier. It's really interesting.
Hidden Gems? Hidden Gems, is that it? Or
what, the podcast?
No, Hidden Gems is the Written Word associated
the promo
site.
Maybe. I don't know, actually. I don't think that it is, but okay. I don't know. Let me.
Well, Hidden Gems is another one you could look at in terms of stacking. So.
Yeah, I love the idea of stacking. I will be doing that, by the way. But anyway, so yeah, they talked about a couple of things. They talked about were using natural language more in your description. They talked about external traffic being a big deal, caring more about people that things that bring into Amazon instead of like Amazon ads when you're already there, which I thought was kind of interesting. So Facebook ads or linking from newsletters and things like that. It's just an interesting podcast. I would say go out and listen to it. It's only 30 minutes long. I'll probably listen to it again. This one is just called it's actually 2 podcasts ago now. It's from March 17th. It's called the Amazon A10 Update, 3 things every indie author. I guess it's needs to know because I can't see the whole title, but I'm gonna guess it's needs to know. But I say listen to it. It's really good. It's Written Word Media. The podcast is Written Word Podcast. So
yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, and that is all I have. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I'm all gassed too.
All right. Well, that is going to be the podcast. Oh, by the way, one thing I wanted to mention, I forgot to do this, is that when I have Word read back to me, I always laugh at the things that it doesn't seem to know how to pronounce. For example, I have the term 50-50 in my manuscript, I think twice, and it doesn't say 50-50. It says 50-ifty, which makes me laugh. But my other favorite one is I have somebody when in the very first chapter, when somebody's dying, I have a character going, no, no, no. But the way she says it, I have the female voice. The way she says it is no, no, no. And it's fantastic. Well, there was another one. Oh, it didn't understand the word reread. No, he reread it. So it said he reread it. And it sounds like, so I'm enjoying some of those too, but my favorite one is still the 50-50.
All you gotta do is keep in the back of your mind that, AI is kind of like a homeschooled child. It learned these words just by reading. It never heard them before.
Yeah, that's so this football game that I play, this is it right here. This is the company. I'll show you the envelope. See how it says, so you see that's the company name, right?
Right. APBA.
How would you, if you were to tell somebody that company name, what would you say?
APBA.
So when I was a kid and I was 10 years old and there was no internet, I said APBA. And to this day, I still say APBA. It's actually APBA, which doesn't exactly roll off the tongue very well. But exactly what you just said. When I was 10 years old, there was no one to correct me. So I said APBA. And if you watch all these people that play this game online like I do, they all say APBA because they've been playing not as long as me. I say APBA. And I always wonder if they're like, would you shut up? It's not APBA. But that's exactly what you just said.
Cuts down on the number of syllables they have to enunciate. So.
That's true. Although APBA rolls off the tongue for me. APBA sounds weird. It's putting that P and that B together just sounds weird to me. So.
You confuse that with ABBA and you think you're talking about music.
Exactly. Voulez-vous. That's what we're talking about. All right. So that's going to be the end of the podcast this week. You can contact me, Jerry at jerryevanoff.com. The email or the website is jerryevanoff.com. I'm putting books out, people. In the next couple of weeks, there's going to be pre-orders and stuff out there. Go look at all of my stuff. And if you like it, please buy it. I'm just going to start advertising myself. I'm going to be shameless now in my promos for the next couple of weeks. Wait till I start my next football game on the YouTube channel where I just play board games about sports. Wait till they get the 5-minute diatribe about the books that I'm releasing, because that's coming next. I have a Substack. I posted nothing. I think it's jerryevanoffauthor.substack.com. I believe is what it is. So, go to all those places and learn about me. I'm interested.
Yeah, you can email me.
My mom says I am. So
you can email me at rich@richcasey.com. I'm on Blue Sky as Casey himself, and I'm on Substack as Rich Casey. And definitely get in contact because ever since Angelina left, I've been really kind of lonely. So
I was going to change mine to Leonardo DiCaprio a little bit ago. And I'm like, I'm just leave it what it is right now. Yeah. So
I'll come up with a new one for next week.
There you go. Yeah, we'll try to do that. I like that idea. We'll do that every week. It's fun. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
Yeah. Have a good Easter, everybody.